All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Concordia University's Fourth Space. Thanks for joining us for today's event, UNAM Concordia Research Symposium. This is highlight opportunities for research collaboration between Concordia and UNAM. But we would like to begin by acknowledging that Concordia University is located on unceded Indigenous lands in Tiohtià:ke, Montreal. And we respect the continued connections with the past, present, and future, and our ongoing relationships with Indigenous and other peoples within the Montreal community. Here at Space, we work with our university community to help mobilize knowledge, co-creating daily activities, examining research questions and projects happening all across the university. And we're running today's event as a live stream both to YouTube and as a Zoom meeting. So those of you joining us via Zoom, comments and questions, we're very much welcome. Just pop those into the chat, and if we have a chance for Q&A, we will do our best to read those out. Those of you here in the space, kind of the same thing. If you have any comments or questions, raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone around to you. We're going to cue a short video first, and then we will quickly after that pass the microphone over to the the Associate VP from Concordia International, as well as the Office of the Vice President of Research and Graduate Studies, William Chabe. Bertie, can we play that video?
At Concordia, we belong to an extraordinary community whose 5-decade story was forged by innovators, creators, and researchers across 2 campuses and 2 proud legacies at the heart of our city. We advance discovery and knowledge to contribute to the vitality of Quebec and around the world. From our labs, libraries, studios, and playing fields, we welcome fresh ideas. We teach for tomorrow, and we learn by doing. Our economic impact in Quebec is substantial. $2 billion every year, chez nous. Recognized for our climate action, we propel the electrification of society. We accelerate artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and the creation of smart cities. With our Plan Net Zero initiative, we aim to make our campuses carbon neutral by 2040. At our School of Health, we unite all our disciplines to spark new collaborations that defy traditional research boundaries. When we face hurdles, we channel adversity to uncover strengths and defend our team, united. With accessibility as our core ethos, more than 8,000 donors support our mission every year so that every student can realize their dreams. A beacon of higher education for the next generation, Concordia moves Montreal, Quebec, and the world forever forward. Our alumni are a testament to our success.
Bonjour à toutes et à tous, buenos dias. C'est un grand plaisir de vous voir ce matin au Fourth Space à l'Université Concordia pour l'ouverture de ce colloque. Your participation in a large number to an event at 10 a.m. with the weather that we have outside is an act of courage. So thank you for joining in person, but also online. The symposium reflects the shared commitment to advancing meaningful collaboration between Concordia and UNAM. Entiendo que algunas de las personas presentes en la sala y en línea pueden no conocer bien Concordia, así permítanme describir quién somos como institución. I tried in Spanish. Okay. Concordia is a welcoming, comprehensive university located at the heart of Montreal, one of the top university cities in the world. We are recognized as a next generation university for our innovative approach to teaching and research. With close to 50,000 students and a strong tradition of interdisciplinarity, we strive to push the boundaries of knowledge and practice. Our research strengths span many areas and reflect on commitment to tackling complex global challenges through collaboration, creativity, and commitment and engagement. At Concordia, we firmly believe in the power of partnerships. And as the old saying goes, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, invite a partner. Well, fortunately, UNAM has brought its best teams, so we are definitely going far today. It is within this spirit that our relationship with UNAM has grown so strongly. Concordia and UNAM share not only research interests, but also common values and a passion for big ideas. Over the past several years, we have invested in strengthening this partnership. One of the clearest examples is the Queen Elizabeth Scholars Project on Climate Justice, co-led by Concordia's Next Generation Institute and UNAM's Institute of Ecology. This initiative creates opportunities for meaningful engagement, knowledge exchange, and interdisciplinary problem solving. Beyond this flagship initiative, new collaborative ideas continue to emerge from urban sustainability, biodiversity, to cultural studies, digital innovation, and community engaged research. It seems that every time we meet with UNAM colleagues, we discover another shared interest. At this point, I think the only thing that we agreed that not to tackle is the weather. And trust me, this is not something that we're going to compete with the Mexicans on. So, in addition to the work on climate justice, we are also extremely proud to acknowledge the opening of the UNAM office on Concordia campus. This office represents more than a physical presence. It's a bridge connecting researchers, supporting joint projects, facilitating mobility, and strengthening academic exchange, not only with Concordia, but with all Quebec universities. This is yet another example of UNAM's commitment and vision to working together in a strategic and coordinated fashion and a forward-looking way with its partners as well. I would like to sincerely thank my friend, Dr. Constantino Macías Garcia, Director of UNAM-Canada, his dedicated team, and UNAM's leadership also in Mexico. Their work, vision, and commitment have been bringing our communities closer and making this shared space a reality. In closing, I hope our discussions will help deepen the shared knowledge between our institutions, highlighting new areas of synergy and inspire bold thinking about what we can build together. Merci encore de votre présence. Je vous souhaite des échanges stimulants et inspirants. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce a special friend to Concordia University, as I mentioned before, Dr. Constantino Macías Garcia, Director of UNAM-Canada. An evolutionary biologist, Dr. Macías Garcia earned his doctorate from the University of East Anglia in Norwich and is professor and researcher at UNAM's Institute of Ecology. His academic work focuses on animal behavior, sexual selection, and animal behavior and evolutionary ecology, with field research conducted in both Mexico and internationally. Under his leadership, UNAM-Canada has strengthened its role as a hub for cultural diplomacy, academic and scientific exchange, and educational outreach in Canada. And I think, Constantino, you're most welcome, but I think we're going to project a video first. So.
Yeah, we're just going to cue up the video. Thank you. Bertie, if we can cue up the video for Constantino, number 2. The video seems to not want to play. Let me try something else. Hold on one second. Here we go.
educational institution, and we are central to Mexico's past, present, and future.
We are students and young people from all over the country and all over the world.
We are professors, researchers, workers, and alumni. We offer undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral programs.
We are 350,000 students, 40,000 scholars, and over 20,000 workers.
We are the largest university community in Mexico. As an independent institution, we keep the tradition of critical thinking alive.
We drive new advances in science, technology, and the humanities. We spread art and culture. We are a diverse community, forward-looking and future-minded.
We are a space for the proposal of solutions to the nation's problems. We are driven by the desire to learn and share in an atmosphere of diversity, respect, and unity. We are one of the foremost educational institutions in all of Latin America, offering more than 120 career paths and 92 master's and doctoral programs.
Our scholars publish in the most prestigious international journals on subjects ranging from philosophy to nuclear science. In 2009, we were honored with Spain's Prince of Asturias Award, and all 3 of Mexico's Nobel laureates have passed through our halls.
We have a television channel and a radio station. We edit an average of 6 books a day. We have 26 museums and 18 historical sites. We have 3 orchestras and a number of concert halls, theaters, and cinemas, where every year 14,000 artistic and cultural activities are attended by almost 3 million people.
We offer more than 50 different athletic activities to promote health and social values and to encourage our holistic development as human beings. Our football and soccer teams are a symbol of community for thousands of Mexicans.
We are a public university. We do not discriminate on the basis of religion, race, sexual orientation, gender, political ideology, or financial status. We are a catalyst for social mobility, and we are part of the life stories of millions of Mexicans.
Our central campus is a World Heritage Site with buildings of tremendous historical value. We are all UNAM wherever we are, in every state of the Republic and in 7 other countries. We celebrate the ethnic and social diversity of Mexico and the world.
But UNAM's greatest resource is its people. We form identities in our classrooms, cafeterias, libraries, offices, and sports fields, gaining the experiences that shape our behavior out in the world. At UNAM, we build engaged citizens. From the San Pedro Martir Observatory, we study the cosmos. We study the seas from our 2 research vessels. We run the National Seismological Service, and our experts monitor the volcanoes. We protect and study a wide variety of plants in our herbarium and botanical gardens. The nation's memories live on in our libraries, preserved and cataloged in our archives of books and newspapers.
At UNAM, we are stronger together.
We forge the future. Our moment is now.
We are the University of the Nation.
Thank you very much indeed. And of course, William, you pronounce my name much better than I can pronounce yours. So I say William. Thank you very much for your very kind words. You mentioned diplomacy. Now you will realize that I am hardly a good diplomat. Basically because I'm going to be speaking mostly in English, given that my French is still a project. 30 years ago, the then rector of UNAM, Dr. Sarukan, arguably the most famous biologist of Mexico, decided, being a rector, that it was important for UNAM to expand its views, its imprint to Canada. UNAM had already established a school of language 50 years earlier in San Antonio, Texas. For historical reasons, the Mexican community there is very large, very diverse, and lives in a very complicated situation. And so it was important for UNAM as the national university to be present there. But then it was the year of NAFTA. It was the first economically implicit decision of joining the three big countries that make up North America. And it was important, Sarukan thought, that UNAM came to Canada, and it came to the Quebec region, very close to Ottawa, so that we could have an eye on both cultures that make this country. And so we have been here for 30 years. Now, it is interesting that Sarukan had been director of the Institute of Biology, but then also the coordinator of scientific research. And his view was that eventually UNAM would be presenting itself to the academic community in Canada as a desirable partner for research. The way we were created was, it was a school of language. We are still a school of language, and it has been a very long period of shedding a bit of that image and becoming really a diplomat in terms of promoting what actually UNAM means in terms of research, in terms of mobility that we can share. And it was very fortunate that being the oldest university in the continent, not the oldest in the Americas, but the oldest in the continent, we found that one of the youngest, which is Concordia, could make our more significant partner in Canada. And that was in part due to the fact that Concordia, as we learn, is a young university that is thinking outside of the box, novel ways of approaching old problems and even, of course, recent problems, novel problems. And UNAM has to recreate itself every so often, because we cannot be a significant university for Mexico if we do not do that, if we do not keep apace with changes in society. So it's perhaps not so much of a puzzle that we found that keen soul, if you believe in souls, and thanks also to the indefatigable work of Julio Sevilla and his team. We have here Susan and sorry, Vanessa, who have been influential in facilitating this finding of common paths and possibilities. We will talk about that later on, but now I just want to comment that indeed it is not a coincidence that UNAM and Concordia found as one of the earliest or first themes of joint interest, sustainability. We will hear more about it later on, but the world cannot possibly be thinking of projects anymore if we do not think in terms of sustainability. It is irresponsible to embark in any project now if we do not think what are the consequences of this project for the environment. And Concordia has embraced this idea. UNAM has embraced this idea and is inevitably at the center of our collaboration. I'm very, very grateful that it has been possible, and I hope that more opportunities will come from this meeting. Thank you very much.
I think we can go to
Dear
the video.
friends at Concordia University, it is a pleasure to take a few minutes of your time to address you and send you a message on the occasion of this symposium that you are holding for a collaboration that involves UNAM and Concordia. I'm sorry I can't be there with you, but I would like to take a few minutes to share some thoughts about our collaboration with you. Universities always have an important role to play between countries, but now more than ever. The relationship between our countries demands that higher education institutions seek new and innovative ways to collaborate and to promote exchanges and conversation between our countries and our communities, our people, and above all, our students. The current geopolitical situation requires in particular that Canada and Mexico, through longstanding ties and collaboration, seek ways to renew these activities and find new avenues for the development of our communities and above all our youth. The relationship that UNAM has with Canada and in particular the area in the city of Montreal and in particular with Concordia is of great value to us. And this is one way in which we seek to renew these ties. The opening of a space, of an office at Concordia from UNAM, I'm sure will lead to new avenues for projects and for ideas and for exchanges in this direction. And we're extremely grateful to the university for allowing us this presence and this participation. As you know, UNAM is distributed across the country. We are not only present in Mexico City, but we have facilities and schools and institutes all across the country, from Baja California to Michoacán, Guanajuato, Querétaro, Mexico City, of course, Morelos, Oaxaca, and Yucatan, along with research stations and facilities in almost every state in the country. And in addition, UNAM maintains and develops a number of national facilities that are in charge to it, such as the National Library, the National Astronomical Observatory, national collections for biology. We run the National Seismological Service, and we run biological reserves in Mexico City and outside of Mexico City as well. So these offer opportunities for the development of projects and exchanges with other areas in Mexico and other institutions, the government, public and private institutions, that we can use and profit from to develop these ties in a more broader sense. The university also runs a large number of laboratories, many of them national laboratories, with financing and infrastructure from the federal government and the university, which we can also use to develop these issues, particularly around a few notable axes. One is sustainability, another is equity, in particular gender equity, and to give opportunities and a world-class education and a worldview education to our students. The university has a set of schools and colleges for teaching and research, also heavily involved in graduate programs, and as you know, two very large and important subsystems for research, in scientific research on the one hand, and in the social sciences and the humanities. UNAM produces about a quarter of the entire research output of Mexico in all areas. And as a comprehensive university with over 370,000 students and several tens of thousands of faculty and staff, we approach every area of knowledge and culture. The mission of the university is not only education and research, but also in our bylaws, culture, its development, its outreach, and its accessibility to a very broad public. And so we seek to share the goals and the objectives of this mission with all our partners, in particular with Concordia. So I wish you a very productive meeting, and we very much look forward to renewed collaboration and exciting developments with Concordia and UNAM. Thank you very much.
just going to transition over to the slides for Constantino. There we go.
All right, hello again. So here we are going to go into just a few details to get more of an idea of what is the scope and the size of UNAM. What we want to do today is, and I hope we can manage, to convey the idea that UNAM is a desirable partner for research, for interchange of students. It is a nice place to go and do sabbaticals or research stays. And of course, it's a good place to collect from students that are good, are different, and are keen to come and further their training in Concordia. So this gives you an idea of the size. Of course, you heard already in the video and William Lee to talk about it, but this is probably a bit more to the point. We have this number of students for this academic year. As you can see, it's a substantial number. We have very many in high school because UNAM also runs a few high schools. But also our undergraduate program has lots of students in many areas, as we will see later on. And we also have a very large number of staff. It is, being a public university, it is, to a large degree, our teachers are what we call just single class teachers. They go give one class and then go back home or whatever they do. So the number of permanent staff is probably not as large as it would appear from the number of undergraduate students. Staff, on the other hand, is to be found not only in the schools that we call facultades, and often you will see as faculties, but staff is found in institutes. This is a bit of more similar to perhaps the French style of university that has institutes and schools. This is to give you an idea of the number of programs. UNAM is constantly creating new programs, new specialities that have to go through a complicated process to be accepted by the council that runs the university. But as you can see, 42, I'm going to go back now, if I may. Yeah. So 42 graduate programs and 42 specialization programs, 133 degrees, and we have 36 institutes and 13 centers. Centers are like baby institutes, and then they may become institutes, and the high schools, etc. So it is a very comprehensive university. Within higher education, for instance, there were more than 6,000 researchers. We are more than 6,000 researchers in science, and we publish in all sorts of journals. We are organized in institutes, as I mentioned, but the institutes are also institutes of humanities, is the other system that William Lee was referring to, and is also a powerhouse for research in humanities. Now, these are the numbers of mobility, and they may appear to be very good numbers, but a substantial amount of our outgoing mobility goes to Spain because they speak Spanish. And a substantial amount of the incoming mobility into the UNAM comes from Latin America because we speak Spanish. Now, that's good, but it's not good enough. We want to convince people in the French-speaking world, in the English-speaking world, that we also want and we can also offer good quality programs for students from any university who want, for instance, do research in any of the many topics that we cover. And we also want to attract, to bring students from Mexico to Canada, to Concordia, to further their development. So it is a bit misleading. It seems that we are okay in numbers of mobility, but we are not. We must increase the mobility between our countries, particularly between UNAM and Concordia, I think. Now, this is medicine, and you may jump and say, oh, well, we don't have medicine. Of course you don't have medicine, because Concordia has decided not to compete with other universities, not to go into this crowded space of preparing general practitioners. But Concordia is looking at something that is rather peripheral to medicine. Is looking about biomechanics, is looking on community health, transdisciplinary approaches to, or multidisciplinary approaches to health. And this slide is meant to show that even if you don't want to form doctors and think, oh, well, that is like a black hole in UNAM that we don't want to explore. Well, we have all these other schools, as you can see, in the School of Odontology, we have a specialization on the development of biomaterials, which may be interesting to some of you, or we have bachelor's degree in orthosis and prosthesis. So it's a degree on how to make prosthesis and orthosis. The difference is small, but it's significant. We also have a diploma in hospital administration, which again, it impinges on the interest of Concordia, I think, on health, and specialty programs, as you can see here, in the planning and designing of the buildings that are devoted to medical purposes. So I think that if you don't want to go into medicine, but through all the services and developing areas around, we are also a good partner for that. Think of us. And of course, I won't delve into this, but sustainability should be at the core of human activities. And it is at the core of the link between Concordia and UNAM. We have all these places, the Institute of Ecology, the Instituto de Ecología, and Josune Miquela Jauregui will be joining us, and she is from LANSIS, which is a National Laboratory for Sustainability that is within ecology. But we have a coordination for sustainability in UNAM. You have programs, we have another institute for sustainability and programs in economy, etc. And that is also, as William mentioned, that is because we are all over the country. This is just to show you some of the facilities that UNAM has in other states, not beyond Mexico City. We have schools, faculties, we have the seismological network, we have institutes with presence in marine sciences, for instance, and our oceanographic boats are one in the Atlantic and one in the Pacific. And we have the observatory, and we have natural reserves. So what do you want to do research on? You can do it with us. And finally, it would be probably nice for you to bear in mind that there are all these ways of getting in touch with us. UNAM-Canada is here to help you navigating that map that is UNAM. UNAM may appear complicated from outside. It is complicated, and you may not get a clear idea of where is the partner I am seeking because it's complicated. Well, we are here. We are here to help you, and please approach us. And approach us at the office that we have recently opened with the help of William and Julio and all the team. Gabriela is here and is here to talk to you. Thank you.
Dr. Franco, we're just going to get your slides set up here. 1 second. We see you on our camera. I'll just introduce again, Dr. José Franco is the former director of the Institute of Astronomy at UNAM, past president of the Mexican Academy of Sciences, and current coordinator of UNAM's Art, Science, and Technology program. We're really happy to have you here, Dr. Franco.
Thank you very much.
Your slides are visible here, Jack, so you could cue them.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. I am a professor at the Institute of Astronomy, and the Institute of Astronomy has a project with all major groups in astrophysics around the world. We are partnered with the US and Spain, an infrared telescope that is located in the Canary Islands. And we also have several projects within Mexico, aside from the observatory that we saw pictures of the beautiful buildings we have there. We have also in Mexico the largest millimeter wavelength telescope. It's a radio telescope that it's located in a high altitude mountain, 1,600 meters above the sea level. And this is a part of the network that we're able to observe the black holes in M87 and at the center of our galaxy. And we also have a ground-based observatory for gamma ray astronomy, in which we have tanks of pure water, 300 tanks of that, to check on the particles that are created whenever a gamma ray enters into the atmosphere and creates a shower of particles. So we can measure the direction and the energy from which these gamma rays came from. But I'm not going to talk about science in this presentation. I'm going to be talking about a couple of multidisciplinary projects that we have for science outreach. One is called Noche de las Estrellas, La Nuit des Étoiles in French, and the Night of the Stars in English. Can we go to the next slide, please? This is a star party that it's held annually and free of charge to help build a culture of scientific knowledge in the society in Mexico. It is focused on Mexico, but it's already an international project in which many groups in Latin America have participated over the years. Let's go to the next slide, please. We have had 16 previous editions of this project, and we have reached more than 4 million people. We have had more than 4 million attendees to all these 16 previous editions. This year, we're going to have the 17th edition. And we have had, which is something very important to stress, more than 80,000 volunteers working to make this project possible. This is a nationwide project. And can we go to the next slide, please? Every year, we have a different topic that we stress to do science outreach. And this year, we joined the the United Nations International Year of Quantum Science and Technology, and this is going to be the main topic that we're going to be presenting to all the people in. Let's go to the next slide, please. In more than 120 venues all around Mexico City, and we have 2 venues in Guatemala. And each one of the venues, just have a specific program, but each one of the programs in all these places has workshops, exhibitions, talks, and lectures. Also, telescopes came out whenever the night comes, and we have also music, plenty of music in many of the venues. And the main venue this year will be the space that it's at the University City in Mexico City. See, the university is really large, and it's a huge campus. And in this campus, we have what we call the University City. This campus has a huge space, open space, and this is going to be the main venue for the Night of the Stars this year, and it's going to be held this coming Saturday, the 29th of November. This coming Saturday is going to be the day that we will hold this project. The second project that I want to talk about is more recent. Can we go to the next slide, please? And it's also a multidisciplinary project, and this is a program of art, science, and technologies that we have been having for the last 7 years. This is going to be the 7th year that we have been doing this project, and the key idea is to create a community of artists and scientists and engineers that work together in different projects of science and art. Can we go to the next slide, please? We held in 2018 an international conference on these topics, and it was a huge, it was a major conference. We had people from almost all over the world. Can we go to the next slide? Which shows a little bit of what happened during that conference. That was the first and only conference we have held, because that year we joined forces with the Ministry of Culture in Mexico, 2018. But in 2019, when the new government took over, they decided that they didn't want to continue with this project. So the University of Mexico was alone in this project. But the project has been running, and we have done a lot of different things. This is a workshop, a colloquium on notation. Can we go to the next slide, please? I'm going to show you quickly some of the projects that we have had during the last few years. Can we go to the next one? The next one just shows you a short briefing of many of the things we did during several years. Let's go to the next one, please. And this is on the right side. We show you an ongoing project. No, can we go back to the previous one, please? Yeah, on the right side of the presentation, we stress a project that we have ongoing with an organization in Canada that's called the Montfort organization, and we have expositions and different issues. Can we go now to the next slide, please? And more recently, this year we had an exhibition of art with 22 female artists from Oaxaca, and they created their own vision of what an eclipse, a solar eclipse, was. The exhibition was called Under the Shadow of the Moon, and it was a marvelous exhibition with the participation of 22 female artists doing their vision of what the sun is, of what the moon is, and what the interaction between the sun and the moon. And this is my last picture. So I hope that I can show you, or I can give you the feeling of these two, which we consider important projects to create this science outreach with both, some artists and also with the whole society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Franco. Okay, we're going to transition over to the next part here, but I just wanted to do a quick introduction before we throw it over to the Associate Vice President, Research, Strategic Institutional Initiatives and Innovation with the Office of Vice President, Research, Innovation, and Impact. Aaron Johnson, it's great to have you here. Over to you.
So thank you to everyone for attending online and being here in person. We wanted the next part of this symposium to really highlight the kind of collaborations that can exist between UNAM and Concordia, and what better way to start than one that's been quite successful and is an ongoing collaboration between these two groups. And so we're very privileged today to have our two panelists. So our first panelist is online. Dr. Yusun Miguel Halgroi Graf is an associate researcher at UNAM's Institute of Ecology and head of department of the National Laboratory of Sustainability Sciences. She holds a PhD in forest sciences from Université Laval in Quebec. Her research focuses on social economic systems, resilience, and participatory approaches to sustainability. She has extensive experience with international collaborations and is a partner and principal investigator for Concordia's Queen Elizabeth Scholars. Our second panelist, who's here in person, is Michael Bossert, who is a manager of strategy, innovation, and outreach at Concordia University's Next Generation Cities Institute. In this role, he leads initiatives that coordinate and connect academia, industry, and government to advance urban innovation, sustainability, and technology transfers. With a background in architecture and innovation management from Germany and Finland, Mr. Bossert specializes in developing collaborative research frameworks, living labs, and partnership models that support the transition towards a more sustainable and resilient cities. His work focuses on integrating design, technology, and community engagement to generate real-world impact across sectors. And I just want to briefly explain a little bit about the project, and then we'll go into some questions for our panelists. So the project which exists is one that's the Queen Elizabeth Scholars Program in Climate Justice and Community Resilience. So Concordia University's Sustainable Polygeneration for Communities Initiative, which received funding from the prestigious Queen Elizabeth Scholars Program to support global research and training in renewable energy and community resilience, led by Next Generation Cities Institute under the direction of Ursula Eicher, who is our Canada Research Chair here at Concordia. The program connects Concordia students with researchers and international partners to co-develop practical solutions to climate change. Through reciprocal exchanges, 10 international scholars will conduct research at Concordia, while 10 Canadian students will go do field work in Brazil, Colombia, and UNAM in Mexico. Participants will engage in hands-on projects addressing renewable energy systems, sustainability land use, and resilience building in local communities and including Indigenous partners. Supported by over $300,000 Canadian, the QSC funding, and contributions from Concordia and its partners, the initiative really strengthens the university's global leadership in applied sustainability research, and this program is very much initiated and implemented in collaboration with UNAM. So, first of all, I'd like to start off and ask Yusun, why collaborate with Concordia?
Well, first of all, good morning, and I'm truly delighted to participate in this symposium. As you know, well, I have Canada in my heart since I lived there for 10 years. I did my master's and then my PhD, so I'm very happy that these collaborations are happening and being promoted. So, yeah, I mean, more than ever, humanity faces important challenges like in climate change, sustainability, energy, mobility, climate justice. So I think universities are really, I mean, the role of universities as hubs for innovation and social change is of utmost importance. So, uh, of course, our universities as UNAM and Concordia, I think it's a great opportunity to bridge uh, to build these bridges across different contexts, to have intercultural and interdisciplinary learning, to enable students to engage with different contexts, to engage with diverse epistemologies, methodologies, ways of looking at life, basically. And that basically facilitates environments of critical thinking, of intellectual openness that are right now, I think, very important. So I think it's natural, as not only geographically to collaborate between us, but also in the sense that we share common values in the sense of having or educating or facilitating global citizens for the 21st century, basically, and the next century. So I have more thoughts, but I think I will leave it for now.
Thank you. And Michael, how about Concordia collaborating with UNAM?
Yes, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Hi to Yosune. I was hoping to meet you here, but it's also nice to see you on a big screen. Why UNAM? I think there are a lot of threads to follow up. Why exactly? A lot you were presenting before, Constantino. The numbers are really impressive. Like how many locations you have in Mexico and also all over the world. And this shows, like, if we think about how universities can be change agents, can be catalysts to boost this transformation of the urban realm, then I think it's important to team up with powerful partners, with partners that are basically intrinsically driven to collaborate with the community and for the community. And UNAM is such a partner. You also mentioned Concordia is a young university, a university that has not to all the time take care of some historical background and to do things or not. It's like we can go out of our comfort zone and out of the box to challenge others and partner up with very interesting partners. And I think this forms already. And maybe in a bit childish way, like to think, okay, like UNAM is so very strong. Concordia can build rockets with students, what we learned, and you have the partners which know the universe. So if we totally mess up here, we know already where to go.
So obviously, you know, this collaboration started before the establishment of the new office here at Concordia. So how did this partnership start? And I'll start off with you, Marco.
Oh yes, this was a very fast and very interesting journey, so to say. It was Julio came to me and told Michael, there's a possibility for collaboration, and do you have partners? Do you know with whom? And basically put something on my table tomorrow. And it was like, oh, okay, yes, super interesting. We want to team up with strong partners. We want to bridge also global North, global South. We want to bridge kind of like get close to the UN realm and so on, so on. So Concordia is very active in the so-called International Sustainable Campus Network. It's a very committed network with over 100 universities, very well-known, renowned universities. And they also formed a South American chapter. So I reached out, as I'm part of the board there, to partners, and Julio told, I have also very good connections. Let me do my job, and let's see tomorrow together. And from there we went, and we could form an incredible consortium in roughly 1 week. And this means like you need to have trusted connections, strong partners, which brings me back to the comment, we believe in the power of partnerships. And so we could form and phrase around the idea how we as universities can be these catalysts and team up with communities to get more sustainable, more resilient, and also maybe more self-sufficient to switch to more renewable energies and use this idea of transformation also to have positive impact on well-being and so on and so on. So this proposal is basically the idea of bringing, or it's a mobility grant or donation, and to send students around and to form a cohort of experts of the next generation of decision makers and leaders that know to work in complex surroundings, in inter and transdisciplinary surroundings, and to give them the best possible network and connections and the chance to learn in different settings. And I think it's an amazing demonstration of what is possible to put a proposal together in 1 week.
Yusun, any additional comments there?
Yes, I want to add that, basically, Constantino shared with me this initiative, and Constantino has made an incredible work, not only, I mean, in this idea of transitioning, not only UNAM as a school of language, but actually as a catalyst of change and transformations in another scale. So he shared with me that initiative, and I say, well, yes, I think it's really important to strengthen these collaborations with partners. And I was very excited about the idea because it was also a new way of engaging students in a non-linear way. So it was actually more an experience-based initiative in which they are going to be able to gain not only technical skills, but also soft skills that will be so important to navigate uncertainty, to have long-term perspectives, to be able to be actually leaders in the broader sense of that word. And I think it's also an opportunity for universities to have this role as living labs, to have exploratory research, to engage with socially relevant problems. And I think that's probably a key aspect of this initiative, that it's not only science like isolated, but it's actually a socially relevant project that is iterative, that is able to learn, to have this learning process and to transform. So actually, I'm very excited about that project. I think it's a great opportunity, and also us as people to actually learn in the process.
So, building on from that, and I think it echoes very much what Constantino and Jose had said about collaborations being important, not just within our countries, but also internationally. How do you feel, Yusun, about what is it that this international collaboration brings to the ability to address these global problems? Like sustainability is a core issue, as Constantino was saying, that it impacts us all, and we should be thinking about sustainability across all our areas of research at the moment. How does this sort of international collaboration help address these kind of global issues?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I think the initiative has the ability or the capacity to engage with the local, but also addressing the global. So I think that multi-scalar perspective is very important, and it's a challenge, of course. but we want to, from these local experiences, to have like a meta, like, I don't know, like key messages that we can actually implement in other contexts. So as I was saying, to facilitate also capacities, not only in the technical spectrum, but also in the more the procedural and evaluative domains, in the sense of providing arguments, being able to have dialogue, to engage with different epistemologies, methodologies, to be able to integrate that in a very open way. I think for me, that's one of the key aspects of this initiative.
Michael?
I think you mentioned pretty much everything. It's this to create impact on the ground, like to teach applied research, to teach inter and transdisciplinary research, this additional way of getting things done and addressing local challenges. I mean, all these pledges around climate change are done in a national, international level, but where things needs to get done, this is on the local level. It's in the neighborhood. It's the perspective that people can understand. And this is where we want to work and where we want to teach this. I mean, it's a rather small cohort of 20 people, but we hope on a multiplication effect and that this is a door opener. And we also team up in the same project with UN Habitat. And so we create this platform to learn on a local level, but then exchange what you call as meta platform or meta statements to report and exchange knowledge on an international, on a global level. Universities have very often, to be very frank, a little bit issue of like reinventing the wheel over again, because new students are coming, they are genius and they need to do exactly the same as 2 years ago was done. So there's a lot of data, a lot of knowledge which we could leverage more while exchanging, collaborating with others. And very often, I'm sure in Mexico City or one of your fantastic campuses, there are so many solutions you tested, you failed tremendously or you succeeded amazingly. And to exchange both can help us here in Montreal or in Laval or wherever to learn from it and to not make the same mistakes. And so it's important to exchange this knowledge and to bring these two levels together, this global perspective kind of.
So José was mentioning about how, one of the great things that these projects bring are experiential learning, that ability to sort of interact. So is that something you see as being something you see emerging from this project, where Concordia is going to learn more about what's happening at UNAM in terms of engagement, in terms of translating that basic research into applied deliverables, and actually giving students that experience of participating in the research and actually translating that into real world situations?
I think there is a big chance or pathway, even though I don't want to go on the alley. It's a new way of research. It's more additional way of research, the applied research, the transdisciplinary or interdisciplinary research. We need a fundamental research. This is without any question, but there's a new way of really going much more in the communities and work with and for communities and to support them. And I think it is a new chance. And I also think that what we see, it's a lot of students, they are asking for this, how we can be more equipped, better equipped, making change and learn for the challenges that are upcoming. And I think this is a challenge for all higher education institutions in thinking how we can address the needs of the next generations. And the next generations, I think they're again alphas, if I recall right. They grow up with computers, with mobility all around them. I didn't, gray hairs here. So it's like, why I or how do I dare to think that I can teach and give tool sets to others? So we need to also learn for us what kind of skill sets do they need, and we need to adapt this. And I think this is important that universities collaborate here and think what the next generation needs, and experiential learning, complex thinking, critical thinking, all these kind of things. I'm sure new ways of teaching, new subjects, new courses will develop to prepare the next generation of decision makers for what's waiting for them.
Yusun?
Yes, well, I'm actually very concerned about the younger generations, since of course they face more challenges that for sure I faced when I was that age. And what I want most is that they have hope, that they know they can change things. There is like right now a desolation feeling that people like they think they don't have agency, they don't have the power of changing anything. So probably that's something, and I hope we can change that by giving them skills to say, okay, yes, I can change. Things can be better. I have a place in this world. I have a place in the decision-making process. And I hope we can, I mean, in this collaboration between universities, we can bring the best from from both sides and actually help, well, humanity basically, because it's not about boundaries, it's not about geography anymore, it's about humanity and the planet. So yes, that's probably my hope.
And it's a great hope to have. So the last question I'm going to give both panelists is, as Michael was saying, this is very much a start of an initiative. The Queen Elizabeth Scholars funding is great, and it's allowing this initial exchange of students. But how do you see this kind of building in the future, like from this initiative to inform future bilateral research collaborations between UNAM and Concordia? And I'll throw this one to you first.
Yes, well, actually, there has been an amazing starting point, this initiative, because, well, after that, with Michael, we have been able to, actually, well, we wrote a proposal with him, and then we were able to share some experiences in the conference in Germany of urban labs, and I think from them, from those experiences and from those events, we were able. I mean, I think we have a connection. Let's put it in that way, like intellectual connection. But I think we have trust, as he was saying. So I think very good and important collaborations can take place in the future.
And then Michael.
Yes, I think it's as you say, like we immediately right after the Queen Elizabeth, we started to go all in for an FRFT transformation proposal, which was around 24 million to apply. Unfortunately, we didn't make it because the critique was it's not feasible, what we didn't believe, because we created very fast international consortium. We met in between in Germany also, more or less by coincidence, and had amazing exchange with others. So it aligns very strongly, not to say the stars align, but to stay in the topic with José Franco, but to say like there's a promising pathway ahead to go together. And I see this a lot of synergies in this partnership. For sure we believe in, and we are just looking for possibilities to find next grants, next possibilities, and more than happy to approach philanthropic organizations around this, because we see, I mean, a partner with students, 350,000 students, and so many like places, it's so promising, and I think there are so many possibilities that are coming immediately to mind that we are ready to go for it.
And so with that, I just want to thank Yusun and Michael for answering the questions. I think this is a really great example of a collaboration that's currently existing between UNAM and Concordia. We will have question period after the second panel, so if there are questions from the audience, either online or in person, then we'll answer them then. But given that we're a little bit behind schedule, we'll now transition to the second panel.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. And if I can invite our Manager of Research Grants from the Office of Research, Andrea Rodney, up to the table to introduce the rest of the panel on funding opportunities. Good to have you, Andrea.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So now we've heard about an existing relationship between Concordia and UNAM, and we want to promote more of those. So this panel is to discuss funding opportunities, how and where to start. And we're hoping that what is presented today is a launch pad for you and to develop more relationships and stronger collaborations between both institutions. So we will start by presenting. We have Dr. Constantino Macías, the Director of UNAM-Canada. And we also have Catherine Mwangi, who is from Voltage. She is the recruitment officer. Oh, you're the cohort, so my apologies, the cohort training officer. And then we have Elisa Marshkuva, I think I said that okay, also from Voltage, and she's the training cohort officer.
Yes, so Kat is the training cohort
manager,
I'm the recruiter.
Thank you, sorry. And then we have Natalia Espinel Quintero, who is a business development advisor for MyTax. So maybe each of you could describe the program that you want to sort of put forward and what sort of projects or partnerships would be best for each one. So maybe we'll start with Dr. Macías. Oh, we'll go to the video. Thank you, sorry. All right.
We're going to queue up the video. Bertie, you got that? Okay. Let's go in.
Hello, my name is Fernando Castro. I am academic at UNAM. The National Autonomous University of Mexico has a population of about 380,000 people between academics, students, staff, and research team, for whom it offers a wide range of scholarships, approximately 200,000 on a yearly basis. Our funds come mostly from federal resources. We get assigned each year part of federal budget, which is later split between all of the internal entities who manage different types of funding for different purposes. 90% of the university scholarships are currently offered by the Dirección de Becas y Enlace con la Comunidad, that is part of Dirección General de Orientación y Atención Educativa, and it's mainly aiming students, high school, college, postgraduate students, and graduates. Amongst the university, there are other entities that offer other types of funding. The GESI, Cooperation and Internationalization, operates and promotes cooperation programs. It strengthens student exchange. The GAPA, Academic Staff Affairs, funds doctorate students to develop innovative research projects for the university. The postgraduate students coordination also seeks to support the postgraduate students with funding for academic national and international states. I will share some links so you can get more information on all UNAM's entities and our programs. Thank you.
So, who would like to start by sharing some of the programs that you offer and projects, telling us how projects or partnerships can develop through those projects?
Sure. Thank you, Henry. So I'm a business development ambassador for MyTex. I work with Concordia's Office of Research. I had some slides if we can pull them up. So MyTex, we are a national not-for-profit organization that funds research, innovation, and development programs across the country. So I'll have some numbers that will pop up soon, hopefully. I think I can move this here. I think it was your slides. But yeah, so I'm here to talk about two of our main programs that are the Global Link Research Award and Global Link Research Internship Mobility Programs that could be used to promote exchanges and collaboration between the two universities. So the Global Link Research Award, which I work with my colleague Caroline Eastwood, just closed. It's a yearly call at Concordia that happens between September and November. So this program allows researchers both in Canada and abroad to send and receive students. So it's a bilateral movement of students. So researchers here that would like to work with students in Mexico could use this program to bring them and work with them. So basically, the Global Link Research Award provides a $6,000 award for a research project that's between 12 and 24 weeks in length, or a $12,000 award for a research project that's between 24 to 48 weeks in length. This program requires a collaboration, so it requires both a supervisor in Canada and a supervisor at the home institution if it's inbound, and if it's outbound, it also requires a supervisor both in Canada and at the receiving institution, in this case, would be Mexico. It's open to all disciplines, and as I mentioned, Concordia has specific deadlines, but this is a good time if you don't have any connections in either Canada or Mexico to start working on them. And then the next program that is the similar name, Global Link Research Internship. I think we have them there. So just to make sure I didn't miss anything. So this is the Global Link Research Award. So again, academic collaboration. What I didn't mention is that it's open to senior undergraduate students, graduate students, and postdoctoral fellows, so across all levels, and the values I mentioned are there just in case. And then the other program I wanted to mention is the Global Link Research Internship. So these are 12-week summer research internships in Canada. It follows a different timeline. So basically this is designed for Canadian profs to attract students. So if you would like to attract students from Mexico, this is a good opportunity as well. So we have a faculty call in April where we ask professors to send us the research projects that they want to recruit students for. So that's from April to June. From August to September, we open the call for students. So students that would like to collaborate with the professors can apply through our website. Then between November and February, the matching happens. So profs receive the CVs of the students if they want to interview them or have calls with them just to see who's a better match or whatnot. And then once a student has been selected, they prepare from February to April and they come to Canada to their internship, so to work on the project from May to September. So this is open to international senior undergraduate students only. And all the costs related to the project and the mobility are covered by MyTax. I think we have a really successful example here, Professor Yun, who had one student come work with him through the Global Link Research Internship, and now it's funding his master's through one of the other MyTax programs. So I think it could be a good tool for mobility. Thank you.
Yes, so I can start with Voltage. So Voltage is a research initiative at Concordia University that is funded by Canada First Research Excellence Fund, 123 million Canadian dollars. So its mission to build decarbonized communities and electrify the society. So Voltage unites scientists, engineers, cities and communities to solve urban climate challenges. So what does Voltage do for Concordia? So we have several interdisciplinary projects in net zero buildings, advanced batteries, energy storage, electrified transportation, smart grids, and climate justice and community resilience.
There's also benefits for students. So one of the easiest benefits is a stipend. So if you join Voltage, there's a guaranteed stipend. So if you're a master's student, you get $22,000 per year for 2 years. And for PhD students, you get $35,000 per year for 4 years. And once you're funded by Voltage, you automatically join the Voltage cohort. And with that, you can access certain training, so which is I'm part of developing. So part of that includes technical research training. You get training on research impact and community engagement, interdisciplinary teamwork. So you're working in teams where you're working with people from different disciplines, as well as industry and community partners. There's hands-on living lab experience where you get to work with the users, the end users, as co-creators of their innovations, which is really exciting. And there's also career development and leadership opportunities.
And so why UNAM and Voltage is a powerful collaboration. So UNAM is a leader in sustainability sciences, ecology, climate adaptation, community-driven research, and Voltage from Concordia University bring electrification knowledge, AI, expertise, modeling, battery research, and living labs. So together, UNAM and Concordia and Voltage can create impactful North and South climate partnerships. So how can professors from UNAM collaborate with Voltage? So they can co-supervise masters and PhD students. They can build bilateral research teams. They can establish joint living labs between Mexico and Canada. And they can also apply for joint funding, such as MyTex, for example. So when Voltage will fund the core cost of the degree, for example, master's for 2 years and PhD for 4 years, and MyTex can fund the research stay or the internship.
So how can students access these opportunities? So the easiest way is to apply for the open positions. If you have any questions about that, Alyssa can direct you to the positions that we currently have. It's a great way to also develop strong research practice in sustainability and engineering. It's a good way also, you can use the mobility funding for research stays. You can work in interdisciplinary teams, as I mentioned. And one of the main things that sets Voltage apart is that you're conducting research in communities where there's real world impact. So you're working with the communities that are actually impacted by the climate challenges. So just to wrap up quickly, Voltage is more than just funding. It's really a platform to solve real climate problems. So together with UNAM, we can train future leaders and develop breakthrough research. It's also an opportunity to turn campuses and communities into living labs for sustainable futures. So we invite the students and professors to join us to electrify society together.
Fantastic. And we shall. So I would like just to complement a bit what my colleague mentioned, because he was in charge of a recent publication which included a paper by Julio on the funding possibilities between UNAM and Concordia. So we do have at UNAM a scheme, or several schemes for scholarships. They are separate. Some are for mobility and some are for just finishing the undergraduate studies. But we have the general direction for support of academics that makes a call for postdoctoral fellows twice a year from every part of the world, with the provision that they should have already contacted some researcher at UNAM. And within every institute or school, there is the possibility of getting one that is guaranteed, and then perhaps more than one, but every subsequent proposal goes into the pool and competes. Now, this is for 1 year and can be renewed for a second year. And the most important point for that scheme is to make sure that your academic who wants to do a postdoc that gets in the first position for the school or institute, because those are automatic. The others compete by area, but they compete. But the GAPA also provides small funds for little projects. It's currently about, I think, 20,000 Canadian dollars, and can be renewed again for up to 3 years. So those are relatively small projects, but it is amazing how long you can go with this money if you are organized. And those are competitive funds, but you have to have a local applicant at UNAM, and but you can be the partner abroad. And it may include scholarships as well for postgraduates. So those are the two more important sources of funding. There is funding for mobility from the direction of international cooperation, and we used often those funds to bring students here for little periods, but normally they are undergrads. That is because the postgraduate office has a separate scheme, is competitive within the postgraduate program, and is only for outgoing mobility. So they could go to, come, for instance, to Concordia if there is already a link between an academic of Concordia and someone who has a PhD student who wants to do some time of research in Concordia. That may also be perhaps linked to MITEX or to Voltage. I may mention Voltage as well because we had a meeting at some point. The current head of our representation in the UK was director of the Institute of Renewable Energies of UNAM, and he himself has experience in electrifying little communities. So also the students from that career, engineering in renewable energies, would be potentially interested. So I will make sure to gather as much information as you can give me to promote, because Voltage is certainly some opportunity. You know, of course, Mexico is a powerhouse in getting solar energy, but that is just because where we are. But we can use it, and that may add to the areas of research or interest of Voltage. So I very much want to continue this conversation, but that's it for me. Thank you.
So just so everybody's aware, we're using this as a platform, as a beginning. These aren't the only programs that are available that can encourage collaboration between Concordia and UNAM. There are programs from the Tri-Agency through SSHRC, Partnership Development Grants, and through NSERC for the NSERC Alliance collaboration. So these are just samples. It's food for thought and a starting point, a launch pad to sort of start a relationship. So it sounds like the best course of action for researchers is to reach out and start small with mobility awards to start the relationship and to build your projects and the partnerships from there. Do you have any other words of wisdom that you could share with researchers?
Not wisdom really, but I was recently at the award ceremony of MITEX and had an opportunity to speak with some of the officers of MITEX there, because there is going to be a meeting at UNAM with MITEX coming there, probably also the head of the National Research and Engineering Council from Canada, and we hope the president of Concordia. And I was proposing, and probably is going to happen, that as part of the agenda, they discuss the possibility of having an award that is specifically for UNAM-Canada. So collaborations that you have in mind or that have already started and are needing funding may apply for this award if it comes to be, but it seems to be that it will be a possibility. So it's not wisdom, but get together with Mexicans.
It's always encouraging. So thank you all for sharing these examples and these possibilities. We encourage you to seek out both UNAM-Canada and the office that is now going to be stationed at Concordia International, as well as Concordia International staff who are there to support you, as well as the Office of Research, MITAX, Voltage. We're all here to help and promote and encourage your research. So please reach out to us often, and we will do our best to help promote your research and make it grow. And I think the next session is the Q&A.
We're just going to invite Aaron back for the Q&A. Anyone joining us on Zoom, if you have any questions, just pop those into the chat and we can read them out. And then for those of you here in this space, you can just raise your hand and we'll bring a microphone around to you. Aaron, welcome back.
Okay, so at this point, we can open up the floor to questions. Same if there are questions online, please write them in the chat, and the full space place team will be able to read them out for us.
We have a question right here.
Thank you very much. It was super interesting meeting. I have a question for Professor Constantino. So you talk about this support that UNAM has for postdoctoral fellows, but I don't remember if you specifically said the name of that kind of grant, because I will be interested in learning more about it. So it's just that the name of those kind of support for postdocs.
Yes, is the postdoctoral fund from DGAPA, DGAPA, DGAPA. And so if you go into the webpage of DGAPA, Dirección General de Apoyo al Personal Académico, there is one section of call for applications or whatever, and it is the postdoctoral. It comes twice a year, but of course, I'll give you my particulars so that you can write to me and I can send you all the particulars.
Yeah, perfect. Excellent. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
We have a question on Zoom. I just read it out here and just pop it out so I can read it. India says, hi, India Lynn, sorry, says, hi, thank you for all the information. I'm curious about the potential for artistic collaborations with Concordia and UNAM. I'm in my MA in art history, for instance, at Concordia, and was wondering about how I could potentially do a research or a conference at UNAM one day.
Right, fantastic. I don't know whether José Franco is still with us. He's obviously preparing the Night of the Stars, so perhaps he's not longer with us.
No, here I am.
Okay, so Pepe, por favor.
Yes, I think that we can talk about it let me just get over this particular event of the Night of the Strat because it's going to be huge. But in a couple of weeks we can talk about it if that's okay with you. You can Tino, you can give this person my email account so we can be in touch.
So, and again, if there's a Concordia researcher, then they can reach out to Concordia International or our new UNAM office with Gabriel Casas. And again, there we can make the connection with UNAM and we can go from there.
Sure.
Yes, I just wanted to add. Yes, for that last question, I also wanted to add that the UNAM, there is a postgraduate program on sustainability, and that is an amazing program because there are profiles from, I mean, we have art, we have people from economy, we have from arts, of course, we have from the biological sciences, political sciences. So if India, she's interested in doing research and make probably like pursuing like an exchange or like a short exchange or longer if she wants, there's a good place to start also, the sustainability science program.
Just to add to that, there's on our website, if you go to the Voltage website, there's currently a call for artistic creations. I'm just reading the name now. It's 2026 Concordia Student Voltage Exhibition. So you can have a look at the details and the eligibility to sign up for that.
Any other questions here in the space?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for the initiative. I think this is a very, very good starting point, at least for us to move forward. So I have a question about the UNAM-Canada site. So one of the objectives would be to matchmaking, or putting the researchers together. To facilitate that, do you have a list of potential collaborations, the area that people can collaborate? So that sort of, obviously we can find from the UNAM site, but in addition to that, is it possible to maintain a sort of a database?
Well, no, we don't have really a database of the type that you describe. It is possible to find it, but I think the best way of doing it is if you can tell us what, for instance, to our office here in Concordia, which I think is around the corner, or to us by email, we can find the areas that do research in the field that you are interested. That is because often being social arts university and with several campi, we have some level of redundancy. So, for instance, there was a delegation from some place in Canada, which I don't remember because it was not Concordia, and they went seeking collaboration in engineering and went to the School of Engineering. Now, at the main campus, at the university city, there is the School of Engineering, but there is also the Institute of Engineering. But we also have the Institute of Renewable Energies with engineering in renewable energies, which is a career that is also given in the campus of Querétaro, which is 200 kilometers north. And there are another 3 campi where there is engineering. So they managed to reach only about a third of the potential colleagues. But we can tailor-made the search. If you tell us, that is what we are here for. So it is much easier to go that way. Please use us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And I would echo that, is that, obviously, one institution to another, we're going to discuss collaborations between some of our major initiatives. But, if individual researchers are interested, the best place to go is going to be the UNAM office here at Concordia, having a discussion, and, that resource is really there to help build these collaborations. With Concordia International, the UNAM office, this is an opportunity that's better than Google, that really provides, a custom list of who are the researchers who could potentially be interacting with, but also an opportunity to open that collaboration. So, cold emailing individuals is not obviously the best way to go. I think, the best way is to have that human connection. And so, there's an opportunity here to use this new resource to allow that collaboration to start, to set up those initial meetings, those discussions, and then explore the possibility of a bilateral collaboration. So.
Do we have any other questions here or online? I'm not seeing any online, Aaron.
Yeah. So, okay, so in that case, I want to thank everyone, especially our friends at UNAM, our Concordia researchers, and our partners from MITACS for what's been an inspiring exchange. I think today's discussions clearly demonstrate that there's strength of commitment and potential for growth in collaborations between these institutions. In particular, I'd like to thank Dr. William Lee and Constantino Macías for their vision and support of this strategic relationship. I think, this type of research and the collaborations across borders really shows the potential that can happen, which when you bring in researchers from different expertise, different perspectives, to address these global issues. So I'd like to thank you for that vision of helping to set up this relationship. I think Concordia and UNAM share a deep commitment for research excellence, innovation, and social impact. The examples that we've heard today here, from climate resilience to experiential learning, really illustrate that what can be achieved by our two institutions as we come together around shared values and strengths. And I think, really important to highlight is this establishment of UNAM's office at Concordia International marks a historic milestone in this relationship. This is the first UNAM satellite office in Canada. Gabriela Casas, who is somewhere here in the audience at the front, is our connection between Concordia and UNAM. And so for those who are here who have not yet met her, I strongly encourage you to take part of the discussions afterwards in discussing what potential partnerships, or to reach out to her after the event if you're interested in potentially collaborating between Concordia and UNAM. And Concordia International and UNAM-Canada in particular stand ready really to support our faculty and students in building new partnerships between our two institutions. So looking ahead, we're really excited to see where we go from here. What are the next joint collaborations, this sort of bilateral relationship in research, innovation and impact, I think are clearly aims that both institutions have. And building on current programs like the Queen Elizabeth Scholar opportunity, the ELAP and MITACS, I think that there's a clear path to establishing research, obviously with students and researcher partnerships as well, with major strategic initiatives here at Concordia like Voltage. So, today's symposium really reminds us that collaboration across borders is not only possible, but is really essential. Concordia and UNAM are building a bridge of knowledge and understanding that will benefit our institutions, our communities, and our societies. So I'd like to thank everyone who's contributed for making this a success, especially UNAM-Canada, Concordia International for arranging, and those from Full Space. But before I go, I do want to ask Concordia International and highlight a new website that's been created to promote this new relationship between Mexico and UNAM in particular. So.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we're excited to announce the launch of a new website dedicated to highlighting Concordia's expanding collaboration with Mexico. And this platform presents our joint initiatives ranging from the Queen Elizabeth Scholars Program to research partnerships and academic and cultural exchanges, which demonstrates our shared commitment to innovation, sustainability, and global engagement. Within the Concordia Mexico highlights page, we have our Concordia UNAM collaboration. We intend this webpage to serve as a comprehensive resource for faculty and partners in both Concordia and Mexico, enabling them to explore opportunities and foster meaningful collaborations. We invite you to explore the webpage and join us in advancing the next chapter of this important collaboration. We look forward to showcasing your future contributions. The Concordia UNAM page features some of our joint collaborations, the most recent being the opening of UNAM-Canada's office at Concordia. On the bottom of the page, you will find Gabriella's and Concordia International's contact information as well as office hours. Please don't hesitate to contact us with any questions regarding the collaborations or any questions about opportunities that might present itself. Thank you.
And again, thank you so much for Concordia International for putting this page together. I think, again, it highlights as another resource that researchers from both universities can look for starting that initial collaboration. And with that, I'd like to thank, again, our panelists and our audience for attending. And that's the end of today's research session highlighting the collaborations between UNAM and Concordia.
Thank you, Aaron. Thanks, everyone, for joining us here in the space and online. We're going to be closing up the Zoom and the live stream now. Goodbye, Jose. Goodbye, Yasin. Thank you for joining us online. This does remain available on our YouTube channel, though. You can revisit it, and if you can find the resources there, you can search in the transcript also. And just have a great afternoon. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. Bye now.